It used to really stress me out when I realized like I just wasn't gonna have the time, oh, hold your hand, to do all of the things I wanted to do right when I wanted to do them, and it used to just like put me into like little fits. And now I'm realizing that it's actually better because I think things through. Welcome to the land of small children. Just gonna drink my tea. Okay, time to, it's always to build a community. The whole reason that I set up my classroom the way that I do and I take the time that I take is because I want students to know how welcome they are in here, and I want them to know how excited I am to have them here. Okay people, let's be done with this vlog already, shall we? I'm ready to show you my storage areas. Oh, hello there. Welcome back to the caffeinated classroom. So I am in here today. I'm gonna be doing some work today and tomorrow, so I have a bunch of good videos coming your way from all the little parts of just updating and revamping this classroom. I've been in here a year. Last summer, I did a whole series of setups, so if you haven't seen that, I will link it in the iCards up above. But after kind of like living with it for a year and teaching and making some tweaks here and there are some changes that I am making. Today, I'm going to focus on storage. So as you can see behind me, and I will show you just kind of the mess because it's a big mess right now, but it's gonna get worse before it gets better, and that's okay. Might do a little bit of purging. I did a huge purge when I first moved out of the classroom to go on like a little special assignment for a couple of years, and then I moved back into this classroom, and it just feels like the stuff has multiplied, even though it really hasn't, but it's just kind of spread out. So I need to consolidate. I need to just do a better job of using space in here, and that's what is going to be like mission one. So let me show you what I have going on and kind of what my thoughts are, and then I gotta get to work. And my daughter and my mom are eating Pop-Tarts without me, so like I need to join the party, you know what I mean? So let me show you the issue, and then I need to put a Pop-Tart in my face. So back here in the very back of the room, you can see my open cabinetry here. I put these in here. I did not have them here last year because I used to have a big, huge double door that was like even taller. It was probably as tall as the tallest book stack over there. Cabinet that just didn't hold as much as I wanted it to, and it was huge and bulky. And that space is gonna be a classroom library, but that's a vlog for another day. But in here, what I've done is basically created a countertop space with these so I can like put stuff back here, and it just doesn't take as much room, and I can use these three for storage. So I have a lot of like cleaning supplies. That's definitely going to be one area. I have a lot of decor and that sort of thing. That's going to be an area, but you can see like I just have these huge bins in here, and that just doesn't seem like the smartest use of space. But let me kind of just take you a little around here. Like I have things that just, the big bins don't need to be used because they're not completely full. And in there I have two huge bins full of DVDs that are gonna go in the cabinet, the file cabinet over here. I've got a bunch of decor. This is all the stuff I need to deal with right now. So as you can see, I'm kind of just figuring it out as I go. I do know that step number one is going to be to just take everything out, which sounds awful. I told you it's going to get way worse before it gets better. But that's gonna be like an hour or two of like really sifting through things, and then I'll know exactly what I have, exactly what I need to store, and then what I'm going to do is probably like, I keep looking over at the shelves. I'm gonna diagram out at least those three shelving units to just like write down on paper what I want to go in each of those areas, and then I can look at what I have and say, okay, yeah, here, you can fit there, or like, so step number one is going to be take everything out, sift through it, put it into like piles, sorts of things, because like, I don't even know what I have necessarily. And by the way, like I just went through this stuff a year ago, but this is what happens when you're a busy teacher, right? It all just gets a little crazy. Sift through it all, put it in like piles, figure out what containers that can go into, and then where the containers can go, where I can keep everything. And I'm gonna go anal retentive labeling things. I'm pretty excited. My mom has one of those silhouette cutters. It's gonna be a good afternoon. Here we go. So here's what we've got. This is the first or the farthest in of these three over here. And it just kind of fits very nicely, and everything can be in all one place, and I can label it, and it's gonna be amazing. Next thing that I'm figuring out right now is how to have one cohesive area that is for like student supplies or like student materials, right? I'm actually actively thinking it through right now, which is why I sound like a basket case. The little black rolling drawer unit that is labeled, was intended to be full of things for students to access, like pens and pencils, paper, that kind of thing. Kids don't need that stuff that often, but for some reason, like in April and May and June, kids need all the supplies. And I think their reserves are just gone, or they're just finally comfortable to like ask me for stuff. But I did find that at the end of the year, they needed access to that stuff, and I had it like behind my desk. So that wasn't very practical. And I want the little annotation kit crates to be housed with things that they can reach all the time and like have all that like student supply stuff all in one place. What I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flip you around so I can show you. Oh, and then the other thing is like this stuff, the microwave, not the tripod, that's just mine, but the microwave and my Keurig and that kind of thing kind of all need to be in one place out of the way. I had them, now I'm gonna flip you around and show you. I had all that stuff over in this corner, if you kind of remember, and this was like over here on the side, and I had a little microwave cart over here that I have adiosed because this table is gonna be here for like independent work. This is like our cone of silence zone. This stuff needs to move somewhere. What I think I'm gonna do is put the black rolly thing with the drawers here. I'm gonna take this cabinet and move it here to hold all of the crates. I'm gonna take that cabinet and move it beep 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 there, instead of that's the rolly thing I've been talking about, and put the Keurig and that stuff on it. I'm gonna do that now. Wish me luck. So when people ask me the question like, why are you in your classroom in July? Or like, why was I in my classroom like the Monday after school got out? It's because I never do everything in like one fell swoop, right? Because, well, being a mom, we're going to the potty, and the potty is like all the way across, and you know, little legs walk and see shiny objects and do different things in different time than big legs. And just this way I can like really think things through. You know, like I found, it used to really stress me out when I realized like I just wasn't gonna have the time, I'll hold your hand, to do all of the things I wanted to do right when I wanted to do them. And it used to just like put me into like little fits. And now I'm realizing that it's actually better because I think things through. And like, you just saw me realizing that my crates don't fit in that red cabinet. So what I'm gonna do is keep them on the table. It just, I'm still thinking it through. So maybe this little jaunt to the potty will help me like figure all that out. All right, so we being Eloise and I, are back in my classroom. Working today on storage, that same 3 cabinets that you just saw, as well as the front. I made some really good headway the other day getting all that stuff put in there. I still might change it a little bit. At least I know this is where things are going to go. Let me show you. We're having a little picnic right now.
Hi,
Elena.
okay, that's frozen.
That's Frozen. Yeah. So while she's playing with her girls and her My Little Pony, I'm going to go through some more things. I'll show you what is left to do, and it's really not that bad. It's kind of like all spread out all over the room, so it looks a lot messier than it is. And then I'll be ready to show you what the storage is going to be. I'm pretty stoked.
That's how film.
What?
That's Pony. That's
Tiana.
no.
Who's this? Tiana. Is she doesn't feel good? Aww.
I'll miss her mommy.
Oh, she misses her mommy. That's so cute. Do you miss your mommy?
Poo-poo.
Poo-poo. Poo-poo was her response. Welcome to the land of small children. Just gonna drink my tea. Okay, time to work. So I am am back. Another day again has gone by. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, I ended up having to take my daughter home because she just was not feeling it. And she's been such a trooper this week, being here and just like hanging out with me. And I think she just had had enough of My Little Pony up on the screen and her big like picnic blanket. She was just ready to go home and eat dinner and get in her jammies and just be a 3-year-old. So I am back again. And I'm about to pop some Real Housewives of Beverly Hills up on the screen for myself because I'm just going to finish like the last finishing touches on a few different things. I'm really excited to show you guys how this all came together. And like I said before, it was actually, I mean, being a working mom and like I am so lucky to be able to be off with my kids during the summer, but that's also the time that I have like the wherewithal and like the brain bandwidth to get things kind of done and figured out for my teaching job, obviously, like stuff in my classroom. So I just have to, you know, try to balance it all and like really meet the needs of my kids first. And they really do. I'm lucky that they're still at an age where they love coming here because that is a plus. It's like novel and fun for them because I have like fun things for them to play with and they can like play school out of school. But I also need to like take breaks. So I'm not ever going to be able to do a project in one fell swoop, and that's okay. It's called reality and it's called real life, and it makes me really think things through if I have to do them like in increments. So I'm gonna get the rest of my little projects finished up and then I will show you around and then I will be done with storage and I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, people. Let's be done with this vlog already, shall we? I'm ready to show you my storage areas. I am ready to show you my storage areas and I just kind of want to like basically, and this is actually something I've thought through so many times. I've moved rooms so many times and this whole entire process of like everything from the flexible seating, the first video I did in this little like classroom update series to the teacher area, the second one, and then this will be the third installation of this series. It's all the process that I go through and that I put on paper with my quick like classroom planner, just a way to mindfully and intentionally set your future self up for success, right? So that your future self is like, hey, past self, thank you for doing that. And so if you want this planner, it's totally free. I feel like people ask me so many questions about like how I came up with these ideas and how I figured it all out. I put the whole process on paper. The download link is down below, blah, blah, blah. So when I think about storage, I think about it in a few different facets. The first facet is like the big storage stuff, cleaning supplies, party supplies if you're like me and you like to like put things out, decor if you change things seasonally, once again, like I like to do just to kind of keep it fresh in here, or even if you have certain units that you do that use certain materials and they like just need to be stored for most of the year when they're not being used, like big classroom storage, area 1 or like storage area 1. Storage area 2 is like files, file cabinet, but like that even is kind of twofold because you've got the files that are like your curriculum files that you can put away that might be paper that maybe existed pre-Google Drive, right? And then there's also like the paper flow filing system that needs to happen as papers come in from students and you grade them or things come into your mailbox and things you need to hold on to, that sort of thing, right? So there's like a couple to that. There's the paper flow and then the actual like file storage. Then there's like your own personal items, and that's something I went over more in my teacher area, but I'll show you what that is for like storage wise. And then finally, it's like things that students need access to, student materials and that sort of a thing. So I'm gonna show you what I've come up with for all of that. And I'm pretty pleased with it. I think I'm setting, once again, I think I'm setting my future self up for success to be like, hey, past Marie, thanks. So let me show you. Okay. Let's start with the big storage like I was talking about before. So obviously when these aren't up for the carpets to be cleaned next week, this will be like a nice kind of an open space so that if I have like regular things that kids need to get, I don't know what quite will go in here, but something, maybe the first aid kit will somehow make its way in there. But student like office supplies, that sort of thing. And then this is gonna be like while you were out, like if I had handouts or anything like that, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet, but Pinterest awaits me. But what you really wanna see is these cabinets. So what I have done has just gone through and everything will be nicely labeled at some point, but like I've got one cabinet that's like housewares and decor. I have another cabinet that has like my laminator and my paper cutter. I have a couple extra boxes, which is a fun, like all my extra boxes, which is a fantastic thing to have. This one is full of stuff for my kids, extra office supplies, and then a couple things for activities that I do with Shakespeare that are in these little guys. Oh, and you can see the letterboard letters that I was sorting, just have them right here. So maybe I'll actually update my letterboard more often. And then my last cabinet Has some more, like my little table signs are here and here that I use for stations. That has a bunch of escape room like supplies in it, like the locks and that sort of a thing. And then down here I have table linens for when I do Shakespeare as well. I've got a big evaluating sources, like we set up a whole crime scene when we have kids figure out who done it, and that's a way of teaching evaluating sources. And then I've got like my keepsakes and board games that we do sometimes. So this down here is my like big storage. As you can see, I just went to Target and I got these like cheapy, at Target and Walmart, and I got these really cheapy little like on sale because dorm life is starting to happen bins. They don't have to be super durable because I'm not gonna be like clunking them around all over the place, and they fit perfectly in there. I did make sure to measure those cabinets before I bought anything, just so you know. That's a really good idea. And then let's move on to paper and file storage, shall we? So this file cabinet back here, the top 3 are full of actual like curriculum files. At some point in time, I will go through and like again purge that. It is what it is for now. I've taught for so many years, and I've taught all grade levels of English. I've taught theater and technical theater, and I just have a lot of paper that I'm not ready to part with just yet. That drawer has a bunch of DVDs, which is funny to hold on to in the age of iTunes. And then at the bottom, I've got like curriculum binders and like old sorts of things. And even when I was like getting my credential cleared, like that work is down in there. This is going to be a classroom library, but that's a vlog for another day. And then my other paper system goes down here. I have this little rollout that happens under my desk that's got all of the files that I need to have close at hand that I'm going to be accessing all the time, with like drawers down here for the random things that go into my mailbox. Pay no attention to this. This is just stuff I'm taking home for like lesson planning stuff. And then over here is going to be a lot of more of the like workflow of paper. So I'm going to have my inbox to be graded because I teach 3 different classes. This is going to be copies that are prepped for 3 different classes, and this is going to be something else I haven't determined yet, but I have space, and that's a wonderful place to be. These down here are lesson materials and activity materials that I need on hand. This is all going to be lovely and labeled, and I will show you it later on in my full classroom tour. And then over here, I've just got like my supplies, and then these 2 drawers just have like my personal items. That was just a jacket in them. It's where I can put my purse and my lunchbox. Okay, and last but not least, we have student materials and supplies. So in this little cabinet, I have the jars that make up my annotation kits, and I'm going to try something a little bit different with that. I will vlog about that a little bit later, but this is just like, I have my annotation and text analysis cheat sheets, which I've talked about a bunch. I've got extra highlighters, and probably some glue sticks will go in here, and Post-its. And then here we have colored pencils and highlighters for annotating text, and glue sticks and Post-its for other sorts of things that we do in class. And this down here has a whole ton of clipboards that I got at the Dollar Tree. So this is stuff that kids can access. And then I wanted all student access materials to be in the same quadrant of the room. So up over here, I have these 3 baskets. And when we do lit circles, these are going to be their like book club folders, and they're lit circle like folders. So I'll have 1 class period, 1 class period, 1 class period. I'll probably put like paper clips and that sort of thing up in here. I have my little letter board. And then down here, this is for kids to access all of those great things. It feels really clean. It's nice. But I gotta get going, and you guys probably have to get going as well. So I will bid you adieu here. Thank you so much for watching. If you've not already subscribed, make sure you do so. If you have not already hit the bell, make sure you hit the little bell so that you get alerts and you don't miss the next vlog, which will be this next coming Wednesday. This one is coming out on Sunday, which means the next one's coming out on Wednesday, and that is going to be another installment of this classroom setup. I have to figure out what my next step is going to be. I do have decor to go. Decor is going to have bulletin boards, like bulletin boards for high school that are interactive bulletin boards that serve a purpose, but also showcase student work and get kids involved. And it's always to build a community. The whole reason that I set up my classroom the way that I do and I take the time that I take is because I want students to know how welcome they are in here, and I want them to know how excited I am to have them here, and not just through my words, but through what I have created, right? Creating an environment where learning can truly blossom. I sound so corny, but that is absolutely what I love. I love building community here. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.